mean that nothing else was happening. So,
well, a good piece of evidence to that would point in that direction is Egypt, because Egypt, even if you accept the conventional timeline of Egypt, which is 2,500 BC for the Great Pyramid, go look at the rest of the world at 2,500 BC. You don't see anything like that. Nothing even close.
Yeah, they were clearly, even if you kind of look at the conventional model of history, the ancient Egyptians were wildly ahead of everyone else.
Everyone.
It's just so weird. It's like,
so weird.
And that's if you, and the conventional model doesn't really give us any explanations of how they were doing what they were doing.
And they arrogantly dismiss any other explanations, which is really weird. When you're talking about these immense structures that are baffling, absolutely baffling to anybody who's being honest.
Yeah.
What is your take on these Italian researchers that are looking at the tomography and they're looking at these things that they believe are underneath the Great Pyramid and some other structures in Egypt?
Yeah, the kind what's it called, like SARS Toppler. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm always a little bit suspicious when you make sensationalist claims with new technology, and that doesn't mean it's wrong. That just kind of
you have to be suspicious because it's bonkers.
It's crazy.
I mean, if what they're saying is 2 kilometers deep underneath the Great Pyramid, there's structures, and there's hundreds of meters of these pylons, these pillars that are in uniform positions with some sort of a coil wrapped around them. Like, what is that? What is that real? And they reproduce it in multiple different scans, but I don't know what they're seeing. I don't understand the technology, understand where the errors could be, like what could possibly cause it to glitch like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would love it to be true, obviously, because, you know.
I would love it.
Can you imagine?
That's the problem. The problem is the same problem that I have with UFOs and everything else.
You want it to be true.
100%. So it really clouds my judgment. And then I have to get my, analytical mind to say, shut up.
Yeah.
Let's look at this honestly.
But I mean, I think, there's definitely something below the Giza Plateau. Like, that's always been written about in ancient sources, and these kind of scans, and then people you have stories of people going down into labyrinths that aren't, accepted by Egyptology, and there's definitely massive mysteries surrounding Giza and the construction of the pyramids and what could potentially be below the pyramids. And this kind of new pyramid scan project has the potential, I think, to, make big progress in understanding what is below Giza, but I don't know, until there's better data out there, I'm not going to, jump to any conclusions and declare that this is like evidence of, a lost advanced technology civilization or anything like that.
No, you can't. But I am so excited about just the possibility that they're right. Because if they are right, that's the greatest monkey wrench into history that's ever existed. Because explain away that.
Yeah,
with ancient people with stone tools or copper. Like, explain that away.
They probably try, mate, because it already doesn't make sense. Their explanation for the construction of the pyramids being wooden sledges and stone chisels or whatever they say, it already doesn't make sense. It's already so ridiculous that I wouldn't even be surprised if they tried to explain away these.
It'll discredit them, because the problem is if it does indicate that the pyramid is something other than a tomb,
there's not. I don't even see any evidence that the Great Pyramid at Giza, I mean, what's the evidence that was a tomb? I mean, I don't think they've ever found a body in there.
No.
It's just a chamber which they've called the King's Chamber.
Right.
I mean, I'm not an expert in ancient Egypt by any respect, but it's always baffled me that they're so determined that the pyramids are tombs just because some later pyramids have had, mummies and pharaohs and sarcophagi found inside them. But
that doesn't mean anything, and that doesn't mean that they built it. That also could mean that the pharaoh decided that it was his and wanted to be buried inside of it, and it had existed for thousands of years before they ever even got there.
And you find bodies in buildings today, and that doesn't mean the purpose of that building was to be a tomb.
Right.
It's just someone's buried there, so someone, as you say,
it's a weird assumption. It's a very weird assumption.